Here at UNH, we are a community that cares about each other. Sexual violence, relationship abuse, and stalking can happen to anyone. These are issues that men, women, and all identities can be survivors of. It doesn't matter what a person's gender, sexual orientation, religion, or identity is. Anyone can be a victim of these crimes, and all people deserve help. It's a myth that sexual assaults happen by accident and that a sexual assault is just a miscommunication. The reality is, there are predators of sexual violence in our community. These people use a situation to prey upon a vulnerable person. Oftentimes, they use alcohol as a tool to commit these assaults. Whether it is getting a person drugged or drunk, or coming upon a person that is already drunk, they seize that moment of vulnerability to then assault. Perpetrators of sexual violence target their victims. Sexual assaults are not accidents. Everyone has a role to play in interrupting predatory behaviors and helping someone avoid a harmful situation. It is important to know about this predatory behavior so you can help protect yourself and you can step in and intervene to help a fellow Wildcat. Predatory behavior is against policy and is not the Wildcat way.
Knowledge is power. So in case you missed it, let's review what UNH says consent is. Consent is needed for all sexual activities and for each time you engage in sexual activity. The responsibility to get consent is on the person initiating the sexual activity. It is not the job of the person receiving the act to stop the act, avoid the act being directed at them, or reject the advance after it has already happened. UNH states that the initiator must seek and receive expressed permission. Sound simple? But let's be clear. Seek means to ask. Receive means to get an answer back. And expressed permission means that that answer needs to be some form of yes. Things that are not express permission are maybe, I'm not sure, I want to, but, or silence. Silence is not expressed permission. A list of expressed permission examples are yes, heck yes, sure, oh yeah, and did we mention yes, yes, yes.
The person you are initiating sexual activity with must be capable of giving you express permission to your asking for consent. It is not just about getting a yes answer. It's also about the person being able to give a yes answer. People who can't give express permission are people that are drunk, on drugs, under the age of 16, sleeping, or people that are saying yes because their safety is being threatened by force or intimidation. A manipulated, coerced, or forced yes is not a yes. Answers to getting consent need to be honest yeses, and when the person is capable of making those choices. In a nutshell, getting consent has to include the willingness of both parties to participate and the capability of both persons to participate. Not getting consent is sexual misconduct, and it is a violation of the student's rights, rules, and responsibilities. If a student is found responsible for violating UNH policy, they can be suspended and/or expelled from the University of New Hampshire.
Knowing what sexual consent is at UNH is part of the solution to ending sexual violence on campus. Yet, we know that we don't live in a bubble here at UNH, and that perpetrators of sexual violence target college campuses because they know that there are vulnerable people to prey upon and take advantage of. It is hard to understand and wrap your mind around the harmful intentions of rapists. Think of the predatory behavior that we discussed earlier in this video. It is scary to know that there are people that think that kind of behavior is okay. Unfortunately, those people do exist. So what can we do to help prevent these kinds of assaults in our community? This is where you can help. As Wildcats, we watch out for each other. When we see something that is causing harm or has the potential to cause harm, we choose to safely intervene and help distract, diffuse, or end the situation.
At a party once, I had to help a friend that was pretty drunk. She was getting some very persistent and at times aggressive attention from some guy. Normally I'd think my friend would be able to handle the guy, but she was way over her limit, and the dude was pretty persistent to get her to leave with him. I didn't charge over there and tell him to back off. Nothing ends pretty when things get aggressive. Instead, I just walked over and told her that a mutual friend had just arrived and was looking for her outside. I then put myself between her and the guy and walked out with her. Who knows what may or could have happened if I chose to do nothing, but I didn't want to risk it.
When my roommate's girlfriend grabbed my roommate really hard and pushed her during another one of their arguments, I made the decision not to ignore it. I saw their relationship grow increasingly more volatile, and I knew I had to say something. In the moment it happened, I was too shocked to react, but a couple days later, I approached my roommate. I'm not saying the choice was easy or the conversation was easy. I didn't even know what to say until I met with an advocate at Sharp, the on-campus support center, on these issues. I think the part that stuck with me and made me do something was that if I said nothing, it was basically like I was saying it's okay to put your hands on someone in anger, but it isn't.
Second semester of my first year, I was at the Lodges bus stop with a few of my friends that I commute with. There was another group of students nearby talking about a sexual assault. They kept saying things like, "What was she thinking? When you drink that much, you have to take responsibility for what happens to you. She isn't exactly the innocent type." I knew that a friend in my group had been assaulted at the beginning of the year. You could visibly see how much the conversation was bothering her. I have never been so angry, but I also didn't want to out my friend's story. So I made up some reason that I had to get going. Later that night, I told my friend that what happened to her was not her fault and not to let the ignorance of others make her feel like crap. You don't blame the victim for being responsible for their own rape. The natural consequences for drinking too much are a hangover, bad selfies, embarrassing professions of love, or stupid choices that make you look like a fool. Rape is not and should never be considered a deserved consequence for drinking too much.
I chose to help by attending an educational program provided by my RA. I admit I needed to learn more about these issues. It was simple to do. UNH offers many ways to learn more about how you can help.
I chose to help by volunteering with Sharp. Student volunteers like myself help run a 24-hour support line that survivors and their friends can reach out to.
I choose to help by educating others about what the students' rights, rules, and responsibilities are relating to sexual misconduct. Talking about what it means to get consent is the first step in ending sexual violence at UNH.
I chose to help by simply being someone that watches out for others and cares enough to safely intervene. It wasn't a hard choice.
I chose to help people just like I would hope someone would choose to help me.
No one is asking me or you to be a superhero.
We're asking you to be Wildcats, and whether you are in your dorm room, a classroom,
downtown at D-Hop, a party, or anywhere else.
If you see something that is causing harm, has caused harm, or has the potential to cause harm, you choose to do something.
You can help!
You can help.
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 You can help!
You can help.
You can help.
You can help.
You can help.
You can help!